Jim, Martin O'Neill's been able to change his team and use the depth of his squad. Depth of squad's not a phrase that you're familiar with, is it?
No, not at this moment in time, Chick. You know, we've got 16 players available, so anyone who's you know, fit and healthy have got an opportunity to play against Celtic. But sometimes that can be to your benefit. It's the first time in a long time I've been able to field the same side 2 weeks in a row, or 2 games in a row.
You're never far from a headline here at Dens Park, and the talk of possible sharing up the road at Tannadice. Where do you stand in that, Jim?
No, I think that you know, stand probably in the Dundee end of Tannadice. Probably that's probably where I stand.
But were you there next year?
You know, I don't know, Chick. We're just going to concentrate on this year. I think that there's enough work to be done this year. I'll let the administrators and directors and everyone else take care of what's happening beyond that. But for me, we've just got to concentrate on the football this year, and really that's what we want to do.
If you're that short in players now, Jim, do you really concern yourself what might happen at the start of next season?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems. There's no doubt about that. You know, I think I've mentioned about 6 players currently out of contract. The first team players, then we've got young players as well. So there's a lot of you know, talking to be done in terms of where the future goes, and you know, and what kind of state we're in. You know, the quality. But you know, as I say, that's for another day. This season we've still got the players. All I want to do is get a few of them back fit again, and hopefully, you know, make myself a little bit better and higher up the league.
Thanks, Jim.
Cheers.
I mean, we're just getting news, or news is coming through. I haven't seen the actual written report myself, but from what I've been told, that the case has now been held on Monday. It's been deferred until Monday. I think they mentioned something about they want a submission by us as regarding Bobo Bowley's involvement in the incident, and so we'll see how that develops.
Does that sound like good news?
From a distance, anyway, it would sound like good news. You know, we've submitted all the particular evidence or anything that we thought was pretty relevant, and some sort of little video evidence. And I think all of those things certainly help.
What's the update on Chris Sutton? Is he likely to have a chance next week?
Well, it's making progress, but it's slow at the moment. So it's a concern. I mean, there's still another week yet to go, and it's one of those where if he declares himself fit, it's not as if to say that he has to get himself 6 or 7 days training or anything like that. But it's slow at the moment.
I suppose we better talk about tonight's game as well. You've gone back to a lot more experience than at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we'd the reasons obviously pretty well known for the side that we had on Sunday. Here we just want to try and win the game, and we're going as strongly as we possibly can, and take it on from there.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
Well, they've been playing football at Dens Park since 1899. More than 100 years of history wrapped up in this famous old ground. But it might have to go. Dens Park might have to be sold by Dundee, sold to survive, with massive debts hanging over the place. The club and administration desperately wants to get out of that situation as soon as possible, and it could mean ground sharing across the road at Tannadice, and that pleases no one around here. That's the backdrop. These are the teams. Same again for Dundee. This the side which drew 1-1 with Aberdeen at the weekend. Not too much Jim Duffy could do to tweak it, really. Lee Wilkie, Barry Smith, Steve Lovell, Tom Hutchison among the injured players, and there weren't too many in the squad to begin with.
Jim Duffy certainly stretched again, but it's the same team as Saturday where they picked up a point. But when you look at the lineup, I think Jim will start with a 4-4-2, but look for Neil Barrett tucking in just a little bit, allowing Stephen Robb to push down that left-hand side to join up with Stephen Milne and Nacho Novo to make it a very quick front three from Dundee.
Well, apart from the injured Chris Sutton, we've heard the latest on him, John Hartson and Rob Douglas, who's on the bench. This is about as strong as it gets for Celtic. Much changed from the side which started the 1-1 draw against Motherwell on Sunday. Back in coming Jackie McNamara, Didier Agat, Neil Lennon, Alan Thompson and Henrik Larsson. 4 of the players dropping out appear on the bench. The 5 who are withdrawn from the starting lineup: Kennedy, Smith, Lambert, Wallace and Beattie. And crucial match practice on the basis that he may have to play in the new camp in Barcelona for 19-year-old David Marshall in goals.
I'm sure David Marshall won't let anybody down. I've seen him play a few times for the reserve team, and he is a very talented goalkeeper. But Martin O'Neill looks as if he's going to start 3-5-2. But as we said earlier, very easy to adjust it with Didier Gap falling into the right back position and Jackie McNamara playing left back. I'm looking forward to seeing Momo Salah play up beside Henrik Larsson. Momo, a lot of people say Momo is not comfortable playing up there, but I've seen him play up there on lots of occasions. Very comfortable on the ball, good in the air and good pace, so he'll be a good ally for Henrik.
What makes Dundee think they can beat the best team in Scotland tonight? Well, they've run them close twice already this season. 1-0 in September, 3-2 in December. And which was the last Scottish side to win at Celtic Park? Give you a clue. They wear dark blue. It was Dundee, amazingly, nearly 3 years ago. 27 games played, 48 points between them, Dundee and Celtic. If you compare goal difference, there's 81 in it. No team has been able to live with Celtic in Scotland this season. Even last season's champions are 16 points adrift, and that could be 19 by the time we're finished here. It's another big night for David Marshall. Only his second start of the season. He started, of course, against Motherwell on Sunday, played against Partick Thistle in the CIS Cup, so make that 3, plus half a match, which he'll never forget, against Barcelona. The first of 3 in a row for Celtic, live on the BBC. Dens Park tonight, Easter Road on Sunday, with Willie Young in charge here tonight. And then, of course, it's Barcelona next Thursday as Celtic look to take one of their biggest ever European football scalps. And there was no minute's silence on Saturday. There will be tonight in memory of those who died in the terrorist attack in Madrid. And this was specially requested, of course, by Nacho Novo and Juan Hernandez. A very impressively observed minute's silence, and that will have meant a lot to Nacho Novo and to his compatriot Juan Hernandez. So Celtic can extend their lead at the top to 19 points. Dundee can leapfrog their neighbours from across the road with a win tonight. It would take them above Dundee United and into the top 6. Dundee against Celtic, live from BBC Scotland. We're underway. Celtic having drawn their first league game of the season and their last, and 125 on the trot in between. And that all gives them a healthy advantage at the top of the table. But what they'll want to do here is maintain a momentum, not just in finishing off the championship, but also in keeping themselves in good order for that big game 8 days away.
You're right, Robin. I think when you look at the Dens Park pitch tonight, I think that's going to be a big help to both teams. The surface looks absolutely brilliant. At this time of the year, lots of the playing surfaces all over the country are poor, but this one looks in excellent condition. That'll suit both teams.
Free kick given against Momo Sila, who presumably learned that at St Johnstone.
Not at all. As I said before, Momo is very comfortable playing up there. He's very comfortable playing any position. Martin O'Neill certainly looking for the right partner to play with Henrik Larsson at the moment, with Hartson and Sutton out injured.
What did you think of those noises about Chris Sutton pre-match, Sandy? Does that sound as if he's really struggling to make it?
It does for me. Martin O'Neill saying he's coming along very slowly. For me, that means there's no real progress at all. And but he's got a week to go, and his fitness level will be good anyway. So Martin O'Neill, I'm sure, will give him up for the last minute.
Brent Sancho for Dundee. Stephen Milne couldn't keep it. Celtic's throw. Stephen Milne, who had a horrendous knee injury, suffered during the summer, kept him out for an awful long time, but he's beginning to get back to something like serious sharpness with 2 goals in his last 3 league games. Larsson's flick, and doing the defending was Sancho, the Trinidad-born defender, playing central defence for Jim Duffy in the absence of Lee Wilkie. Bobo Balde's pass, picks out Petrov, in went Hernandez, gets it back from Fotheringham, now Stephen Robb. He's gone beyond the gap. It's a great run from Robb. Just a bit too much on the cross. It was beyond Stephen Milne, but it was a lightning burst from Robb, and he left a gap in his wake.
And you can't say that too often. Did he get left for pace here? Good skill from young Stephen Robb. And that's a good ball into the box as well. Gary Brady at the far post, couldn't quite get there. I think that's a wee warning to Diddy Agag. He'd gone in for a hard night tonight. Normally nobody can take him for pace.
And it is looking pretty much 4-4-2, isn't it, for Celtic, Sandy, with a Gatti right back?
I think Stephen Robb just showed there he's going to push forward. That'll force Celtic to play the 4 across the back, which we've said before, Celtic are comfortable with that. I think if the Dundee front 3, Rob, if they're going to get any joy tonight, they've got to get the proper service. It's got to be the ball into feet or over the top to try to use the pace against the Celtic back 4.
McNamara's cross, looking for Silla. Mayer was there and Speroni gathers. Hernandez to Novo. Balde won it. Free kick given against Nacho Novo for chewing Balde's kneecap.
Good strength here from Bobo Balde, as you would expect. First to the high ball.
Good challenge from Robb on a gap. Lennon kept out by Fotheringham. McNamara, one of the players of the Scottish season so far. Stephen Pearson survived the first challenge by Neil Barrett, but Willie Young pulls it back and gives Celtic the free kick. Varga and Balde head forward to the edge of the area to supplement the Celtic strike force. No great argument about who will take this. In from Thompson, headed away by Milne. McNamara's pass to Agat. Thompson again. Cleverly weighted pass for Larsson. The layoff to Petrov. Miss-hit the cutback. Sancho clears. Novo keeps it well. Under pressure from McNamara. Stephen Robb's pass. Encouraging the run from Milne, but the calmest of defending from Balde. Poorly off from Silla.
That's a slack one from Momo Silla. Can afford to take a touch there, keep a hold of the ball.
That's a clever pass from McNamara. The reverse pass finds Thompson in a fair bit of room. And he gave that plenty. Way beyond everyone. Easy take for Julian Speroni.
Just too much in the ball there from Alan Thompson.
Balde's header. He scored in both games against Dundee this season, Bobo Balde. Stephen Pearson on the move. Tried to roll it into the path of Thompson. Gary Brady turns the ball out of play. There was a chance there for Celtic with Thompson in a bit of space, wide left.
That's both attacking midfield players from Celtic's point of view, getting into good areas. Stelian Petrov just a few minutes ago, Stephen Pearson that time. The Dundee midfield players have got to make sure they match the runs forward.
Silla, Sancho. Novo turning away from Varga. Fotheringham. Neil Barrett. Fouled, says Willie Young, by McNamara.
I think Jackie's saying they got the ball first. That's the way it looked to me as well. And Neil Barrett certainly went to ground. That's why Willie Young awarded the free kick.
Dave Mackay, signed by Jockey Scott from Benburb Thistle, and he's come a long way since then. Larson, Petrov, lovely pass to Thompson. And Pearson and Lennon. Celtic pushing the ball around, Dundee having to do the chasing. It's all about, though, what Celtic can manage to do with it in the final third, and right on the halfway line, Stephen Pearson has lost it. In from Barrett, Nacho Novo! He had a glorious chance to open the scoring, Novo. With just 7.5 minutes gone.
He's very unlucky, Nacho Novo. Slack play from Stephen Pearson to start with, but Gary Brady does really well down the right-hand side. What's Pearson giving it away there? Brady does really well driving forward. And Nacho Novo, what's the run? It just peels off Varga. It's a great ball. He could have played it first time. There wasn't enough pace in the ball. It was a good first touch in his chest. It just didn't fall for him quick enough, allowing the big Celtic defender back in to make the clearance.
And no one more relieved there than Stan Varga, because he'd lost Nacho Novo. And you don't want to do that this season with Novo already 21 goals to his credit, and he fancies another one. David Marshall came hurtling off his line to intercept.
Nacho Novo was unlucky again there. Good play from the Celtic goalkeeper, playing the sweeper role there. But Nacho Novo, he thrives in that type of ball. Gets himself between defenders, looking for the ball over the top, and he's so quick. Uses that pace to full advantage.
That was Dave Mackay's header out. Thompson to Lennon. Well, Celtic were running the show, and they still are, but that was a great chance for Dundee to get their noses in front. Balde tries to set it up for Larson or Silla, but it falls between the pair, and it's taken out of the air and thrown quickly out by Speroni to Brady. Novo again, threatening Varga. He's got a corner this time.
Great play again from the little Spaniard. Gary Brady is such a good passer of the ball, and Nacho Novo making a great run. The way the game started, I think the little Spaniard is going to cause the two big Celtic defenders a few problems tonight.
Brent Sancho and Lee Baer appear in opposition territory. Stephen Robb's corner is poor, and he's fortunate to get a second chance. It comes off Petrov, but in truth it was a very poor delivery from young Stephen Robb.
It was a poor delivery. Stelian Petrov giving him a second chance.
And he's going to get a hat-trick of chances to get this right.
I can appreciate his problem, Rob. The Celtic defenders are so big. If you throw a high, hopeful ball into the box, they'll almost certainly win it. He's trying to play in with pace.
This time, Rob plays it back to the edge of the area for Fotheringham. And David Marshall was at full stretch.
That's good play from Dundee, though. Young Rob recognising the first two didn't work. Spotted Fotheringham on the edge of the box, and that's an intelligent ball back in. Young Marshall stretching all the way, gets it in the second attempt.
Weemeyer. Mark Fotheringham, the former Celtic player. Not his best, straight at McNamara. Poor layoff from Thompson. Celtic have it back. And Dundee want to get at Celtic. They want to be in their face. right from the start here. They don't want to allow Celtic to play, to dictate the tempo of the game. Petrov slips, but recovers. That's pass. Anticipation was good from Fotheringham. He's a player not lacking in confidence. Balde almost contemptuously shrugs aside Nachanovo.
That was Balde back in there.
It's through to Larsson. Silla against Hernandez. What a great challenge by Jonik Hernandez. Free kick given against Larsson's follow-up challenge, but he had to get this absolutely right. He did.
He keeps his eye on the ball, times it to perfection, sliding onto the ground to make sure he controls the ball and pulls it away from Momo Salah. Good break from Celtic going forward, though, starting from Bobo Balde at the back.
Wonder what Martin O'Neill's making of the opening 12 minutes check.
I think he's less content than Jim Duffy. Jim Duffy actually just having a wee shout there at Stephen Milne and Nachanova taking things are maybe too tight together, but we're width in their front runs. But Martin O'Neill's been a bit thoughtful there, but I tell you what, he's been having a go at Stephen Pearson just throughout this first half, and Alan Thompson, but not checking back, marching the progress of Dundee down the right side.
That was Stephen Robb's header, which went out. And his confidence won't have been harmed at all with that burst of pace early on, which took him past a gap, and I think surprised most in the ground. Milne to Novo, great control, quick control. Now the pace, away from Varga, but the ball's away from him as well. Unlucky. He's had a good start.
He's had a great start to the game. Great first touch back to goal to collect this ball. Then he decides, I'm going to have a go at the big defender. Takes on Varga for pace. Just skips over him there, otherwise he may just have reached that one.
21 goals for Novo this season. He's scored in every competition, the Premier League, the Tennis Scottish Cup, CIS Cup, even the UEFA Cup. But he's not scored against Celtic. A great chance to early on as he peeled away from Varga. Here is Stan Varga, who boasts 7 goals himself this season. Alan Thompson. Pearson was homing in, headed away by Mayer. Neil Lennon, as usual, a pivotal figure in central midfield. Petrov holds off Fotheringham, but Sancho was in the way of the pass.
It was good strong play there from Neil Lennon. Very seldom loses that type of challenge in the middle of the park.
And complete breakdown in communication there between Thompson and Agat. The man of the match telephone number is this one, I know, 111-110-861. Same man of the match, top Bank of Scotland Family Match Day, MP3 player. Those are the prizes, if you agree with Sandy.
Just looking, Robert, the Dundee line-up tonight, the system, the tactics, the way that Jim Duffy's playing. He's got his 4 across the park at the back, 4 across the middle of the park. And whenever Dundee lose possession, Nachanova's up front on his own, Stephen Milne dropping in to almost make it a 5 in the middle of the park. And he's saying to Celtic, right, you try and get through us, we're not going to commit ourselves, leave space in behind.
Lee Mayer to Stephen Robb. Hernandez to Fotheringham. Dundee are moving well. Nachanovo against Stan Varga. No support. It's arriving now. Gary Brady. Neil Barrett's cross charged down by Varga. Dundee lose it. Celtic have the chance to counter. Stephen Pearson. Stilian Petrov. 4 up ahead of him. 1 is Larsson. The knockdown well seen and well cut out by Mayer. And he hands possession straight back to Celtic.
Great defending there from Lemire. Had to be there in the right place, the right time.
McNamara to Agat. Pass intercepted by Fotheringham. Hernandez with Pearson breathing down his neck. Great play from Tony Hernandez, starting something for Dundee. The flag goes up against Novo, and the Dundee fans will reckon that was well worth another look.
I thought it looked okay. Just when this ball's played, watch Hernandez, watch Varga. Just when he touches the ball, he's certainly onside. I thought the assistant got that one wrong. My first impression. It was great timing.
And such is Novo's pace. If he hadn't been flagged there, he was through. He was right in on David Marshall with another chance to get Dundee ahead.
The feature of the game so far, Rob, has certainly been the way Dundee are playing. From the middle of the park, they've got to get the right delivery to Nacho Novo. His movement's so good, and Fotheringham and Brady especially. I think great deliveries to the striker.
Petrov's pass to Thompson. Jackie McNamara on the overlap. Thompson plays it into the feet of Larsson. Back for Alan Thompson! That's a wonder save by Julian Speroni to keep out Alan Thompson.
We see this so often from Celtic. Into the striker, great support from Alan Thompson. And this is a marvellous hit. It's on target, it's going in. But the Dundee goalkeeper Speroni, last minute he's seen that one. But got a full hand to the ball to make a great save.
A terrific one-handed stop from Speroni. Stops Thompson. Thompson's corner. Headed away by Mayer. Lennon. Petrov. Now with McNamara. Pearson plays it in for Silla. It was Lemire who won the header. Hernandez tries to help it on its way. There's Stephen Robb and Stephen Milne. Vargas through ball, onside, Henrik Larsson. What a chance.
It should have been a goal. The Dundee back four, Lemire, Tony Hernandez certainly going to sleep, allowing Larsson to slip in that inside right channel. It's a great first touch, but there's not enough in the shot.
It might have been 2-2 by now, it's 0-0. Petrov tries to pound his way through, no joy. And another poor pass from Lemire. Keeps the pressure on his team. Here's Gary Brady. Gets it back from Stephen Milne. Good work from Brady. Novo wants it. Novo's given offside. Well, I think he had strayed that time, Sandy.
He looked more offside that time than the last time. But the assistant, I was watching him put his flag up right away. Nacho certainly doesn't agree. It's when the ball's played. He could well be in line.
Yeah, he was furious, and when you see that, you understand why. Twice in a few minutes, onside Novo, given offside. Silla, Larsson, Pearson, dispossessed by Gary Brady. Milne's flick, Varga has it. Don't imagine Jim Duffy's too pleased with the assistant referee on the far side, who's Martin Doran. Chick?
Actually, his anger's not really at the referee or the linesman. It's about his own back four, who thinks they're sitting in far too deep, screaming at Lemire to come out. And I'll just explain what else is happening in a minute.
Stephen Pearson. Great challenge by Lemire. Top-class defending. If only his distribution in this first half matched to the quality of his defending, Mayer, because he has handed it back to Celtic too easily.
Celtic defended well, and Jim Duffy will really be annoyed at that. You've got to try and keep the ball, build from the back. especially when you're not under pressure.
Petrov through to Larsson, and goes Silla. A free kick right at the edge of the area, and Celtic will have a great chance to score.
You see just a little nudge here, Henrik Larsson doing well, holding the ball up, trying to play in Momo Silla. Didn't see too much in that, maybe more the challenge on the back of Henrik Larsson more than the touch on Momo Silla.
I couldn't see an awful lot wrong with that at all, but it's given against Meir, and Speroni could be under pressure, having produced that thrilling save to keep out Alan Thompson. He might have to produce some acrobatics again.
It's important the goalkeeper gets his wall right. He's got to cover one side, the goalkeeper covers the other side.
Just about midway through the first half. Well, this is very much in Alan Thompson territory. Thompson's effort into the wall. Didn't get enough elevation on it there, Alan Thompson. McNamara, and it's beyond Silla and out.
It wasn't the best of free kicks here from Alan Thompson.
Check. Jim Duffy.
Yeah, I think it was interrupted by that attack. What Jim Duffy's point is that the back four sitting in is going to be sitting in too deep, the back four. And consequently, I think his midfield's getting sucked back, and there's too big a gap between the midfield and the front players. I think that's the point he's trying to get through. He's scheming it a wee bit all the time to try and bring the back four forward. They're sitting in far too deep for his, from his point of view.
Out of contract in the summer is Lee Mayer, and there's sure to be a fair bit of interest among those clubs who've got a couple of Bobbies to rub together.
Is anybody getting any money these days? But Jim Duffy certainly won't want to lose the young defender. It's another good header.
Still in Petrov. Henrik Larsson. Good work from Hernandez. Used his body well there to screen the ball from Petrov and to get Dundee out of danger. It's Varga. Hernandez again. Never going to get there. Larsson. Silla. The back heel didn't come off. Still has it though. Pearson. A Gats cross. Meier's header. Milne has it, but didn't keep it. Gats looking to get his own back against Stephen Robb. Lennon to Silla. Didn't get that quick control he needed. Hernandez cleared. Back it comes from Baldi. Petrov. Larsson against Sancho. Still going. Silla. Lovely touch from Larsson. Looking for the shooting chance. And then trying to play in Petrov. Dave Mackay to the rescue for Dundee.
It's a great tackle eventually from Dave Mackay, but good play from Celtic. Henrik Larsson heavily involved in the edge of the box. He's so strong, Larsson. Doesn't give the ball away, doesn't panic, eventually tried to slip it through to Petrov. But Dave Mackay doing his job well, covering round the back.
Thompson's corner, didn't get beyond Fotheringham. Used to spend his working days with Alan Thompson and company, Mark Fotheringham. Stan Varga stations himself at the back post. He's worth watching as well, isn't he? Alan Thompson's left foot spears the ball in. Sancho's there, it's not a great clearance. Varga flicks it, but it's over the crossbar.
A lot of pressure on the Dundee defenders from the set piece. So many targets inside the box, but Dundee defend it fairly well. Free header there for Pearson, can't get on target though. And Varga just a hopeful one over his shoulder, but also over the bar.
Preparations ahead of Barcelona, of course, for Celtic are so important. You might deny it, but it's happening at the moment. And Mark O'Neill definitely has at least the one eye on the new Camp Stadium. And it's a question of getting players in peak condition. Do you play them? Do you rest them? And you can certainly do with Chris Sutton back. But it's Dundee on the move here with Nacho Novo. Stephen Milne in the middle. Support arriving now for Dundee. Novo didn't want it. McNamara blocked his shot. And now Dundee have to get all the way back.
This could well be the problem for Dundee. Celtic so quick in the counter-attack.
Another poor clearance. Well won by Rob against Petrov. If there's a first half frustration for Dundee, it's been in a lot of poor passing and relinquishing of possession, because when they have got good possession and played a decent pass into the final third, they're causing Celtic problems.
Well, we've seen it in the early part of the game. Nacho Novo, as soon as he get good delivery, and it was mainly from Gary Brady and Mark Fotheringham. And those two can lift their head and in possession of the ball. They normally play decent balls forward.
That sums it up, Sandy, there from Brent Sancho.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And just before that, Neil Barrett as well, giving the ball away.
Petrov's pass. Larsson. It took two to get the ball away from him. First Mayer, then Hernandez. Celtic's top scorer, one away from 38 goals this season. Agant's throw. Hernandez with the header. Milne flicks it. Played in by Baldi. Thompson. Onto the right peg. Good effort from Alan Thompson. And it was well read by Julian Speroni. He moved his feet quickly.
Good defender eventually from Dundee. There's bodies round about there. Lots of bodies to get through before it gets to Speroni. But that was just a hopeful ball forward from Bobo Baldi. Alan Thompson, his weaker foot, his right foot, but the worry for Dundee, it's on target again.
Fotheringham, good pass, Novo. Brilliant skill from Nacho Novo. He hits the side net. What a delicious bit of ability from Novo to beat Varga here.
It's great skill. That's a nutmeg. Little flight through his legs. The big defender, there's no chance of recovering. He should maybe have passed it here. He couldn't square it. He could have squared it across the 6-yard box, but went for the glory. And who can blame him after that skill? If that one goes in, what a goal that would have been.
I think he sensed David Marshall had come off his line there, and he thought he could squeeze that in between the young goalkeeper and the near post. And well, it would have been one of the goals of the season had he done it. Which would have been a lot to do with that little nutmeg against Varga, which got him along the byline. Lennon had to hurry. That meant his pass went to Novo. It wasn't bad either from Nacho Novo, was it? Neil Barrett. Poor pass. Baldi to Pearson. Looking to turn up the pace. McNamara. Lennon always available to receive a pass. So much of the Celtic play flows through the midfielder. Petrov. Great challenge by Mayer on Thompson. Stephen Robb wins it against Momo Sela. Here is the young midfielder again. Lets the ball dribble out of play disappointingly for him.
That's a slack one from Stephen Robb. You've got to keep possession.
Larsson. Mayer took the sting out of the shot. Sancho cleared it. Fotheringham to Brady. That plays right into the hands of Varga, that high ball forward. Novo wanted it into his feet. Dave Mackay defending for Dundee. Neil Barrett. Stephen Mill. Barrett again, that's good work. Holds off Lennon. Complaining there, Barrett, he wasn't getting enough options around about him. Fotheringham's pass. Onside was Milne. Thompson straight at Mackay. And return to him with Dave Mackay's compliments. Larson. McNamara. Didier Gatt. McNamara trying to create something. Petrov, Silla. Petrov again, Sancho clears. Dundee hemmed into their own penalty box. A Gatt's cross. Barrett's header. Milne de novo. That's for Stephen Robb. Against Gatt. Dundee have a free kick given against Didier Gatt in just the sort of position in which Gatt was red carded here earlier this season. And he was adjudged to have been guilty of a last man challenge on Nacho Novo.
So I think this one is a free kick. You see Didier Gatt, his arm round young Stephen Robb's neck there, stopping him getting to the ball. But Robb again taking him on in a straight race. Interesting if that ball had gone through, who would have got there first? This could be a test for the young goalkeeper. I'm sure Fotheringham will have a go for this one.
Mark Fotheringham scored a cracker of a free kick at the weekend against Aberdeen. And he nearly did exactly the same thing. It was precisely the identical delivery. This time Marshall managed to stretch up and make the save.
It's on target, it's up over the wall, it's coming down again, but the young goalkeeper does really well, David Marshall. Didn't make it dramatic, didn't go to ground. Good save.
At the other end, Larsson tries to get beyond Sancho, and Julian Speroni is off his line to gather the ball. We've got a wee match for you next week, Thursday night. After Sunday, lunchtime, Hibs Celtic at Easter Road. Live in the league and live in the UEFA Cup. Celtic looking to get to the quarter-finals, but to do that they have to beat Barcelona, not necessarily on the night, but overall 1-0 up from Celtic Park, and you'll see all the drama of the decider on BBC One Scotland. Alan Thompson's goal separates the sides at the moment. Stephen Pearson. It's gone behind harmlessly for Dundee. 11 minutes away from half-time. Still Dundee 0, Celtic 0, but with plenty action in the goalmouth.
It's been a good game. I think Jim Duffy will be the happier of the two managers. Dundee have defended really well. All four midfield players getting back to help the back four, making life difficult for Celtic. No gaps to come through. And Jim Duffy there, he's an expert at coaching that type of situation. And up front, Nacho Novo's been the top man so far for me. So exciting, so dangerous. Unlucky not to be in the score sheet.
Pearson's pace gets him away from Fotheringham. Now things begin to open up, but the pass carried too much for Thompson, and the Celtic attack ends. But he's been in great form with Stephen Pearson. He was man of the match against Barcelona, and he's barely started at Celtic Park, and he's made the transfer from Fir Park to Celtic Park with no great problem. Here comes Gatt. Stephen Robb has it.
Again, Rob, that's the idea of the midfield players getting back to help the defenders, Rob. Making an extra defender there to start the build in this attack.
Good hold-up work from Stephen Milne, then the pass from Fotheringham to Brady. But I think Chick, Martin O'Neill has some instructions for Stephen Pearson. He wants him to run with the ball, which he's so good at, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think that's something that's talked about in various games this season since he's come into the team, and he's you know, Stephen Pearson's growing in confidence with the appearance in the Celtic jersey, but he wants to be more confident, have this self-belief to take on players and run at them, and he thinks, you know, he has that kind of ability to go past them.
Prodded away by Lennon. Larsson keeps it. Mayer thumps it downfield. Baldy there. Back it comes from Fotheringham. Novo flicks it away from McNamara. And corner kick.
Good play again there for Nacho Novo. But just when I was looking at Nacho Novo going forward there, if he'd managed to win that ball, keep possession, the rest of his teammates were so far away. He's on his own so often. I'm sure Jim Duffy, if he could get a little bit more support to him, certainly get there a bit quicker, he could make a difference.
Stephen Robb's corner, right under the crossbar, punched away by Marshall. Neil Barrett! Great save by Marshall to deny Neil Barrett the opening goal.
Good play from Neil Barrett. When this ball comes to him, he doesn't want to hit it left foot. He wants to get it back across onto his right foot. He almost tries to chip the goalkeeper. The young David Marshall again showing good quality, good reflexes.
Dundee try again, in goes Barrett for the header. Silla won it. Stephen Pearson, it's 3 against 2 for Celtic. He can play in Petrov. It's still in Petrov. It's 1-0. 7.5 minutes from half-time. Petrov's 8th goal of the season. And the champions in waiting are in front at Dens Park.
We've seen it so often. It's a tremendous counter-attack from Celtic. It's Dundee's corner kick. Momo Salah wins the first header on the edge of the box. Stephen Pearson wins it in the middle of the park, and what a run from Stilian Petrov. After that, he does everything right. Great ball from Pearson. Allowed time to get it on his right foot, his stronger foot. Looks at the goalkeeper, decides where he's putting it. And the goalkeeper, Speroni, can't do a thing about it. It's a great finish to a great goal.
Stilian Petrov showing Speroni exactly what he was going to do there, but there was still nothing the Dundee keeper could do to keep it out. And that goal has put smiles on Celtic faces, but it's put a massive frown on the face of Jim Duffy, Chick.
Yeah, he's absolutely raging about the way Mark Fotheringham gave the ball away. I failed to put a hard enough challenge in for it. I mean, he really has having a go at him. I mean, he's raging. He's still having a go at him in the middle of the park. I think, I don't want to put the actual words in, but Mark Fotheringham is a man whose challenge wasn't solid enough for Jim Duffy's liking.
Dave Mackay on the overlap. That's a goal kick. It took its last touch off the Dundee right back. So the object of Jim Duffy's ire is the former Celtic player Mark Fotheringham. Here's what happened.
He started on the edge of the box there, and Mark Fotheringham second to the ball. We give Stephen Pearson credit. Quick on it, kept his eye on it, but from here he does everything right. Henrik Larsson makes a great run opposite side to take the defender away, and Petrov cool as you like. Great move.
Fotheringham's pass, inviting for Stephen Robb. He kept it in well, and David Marshall needed all his height to get on the end of this cutback.
Stephen Robb can't do it anymore. All he can do is knock into the danger area. The young David Marshall in goal looks so confident. He looks sure of his own ability. Nice pair of safe hands.
It's a game this which could have gone either way in the first half. There have been chances at both ends. It's Celtic who've got their noses in front. Petrov's nutmeg on Barrett. Marshall couldn't get in the end of it.
Sorry, Rob, I think we said earlier in the game the support from the Celtic midfield players is always so important. Petrov and Pearson so good at supporting Larsson.
Good ball winning from Agat. Silla, the reverse pass for Larsson. He's offside. It's not going to count.
Doesn't look too happy. But again, it's a good move from Celtic going forward. Momo Salah, just when he plays this one, just watch where Larsson is. No, he's onside. He's on line when the ball's played. It's the fraction in it, but managed to stay onside when the ball was played.
Well, twice Nacho Novo was wronged by the assistant, so it's 2-1 now because that goal should have stood for Larsson. So that's something for Jim Duffy to feel a little bit happier about. It could have been 2.
Well, it could have been there.
But he didn't rate that challenge of Fotheringham on Pearson in the midfield area in the build-up to the only goal so far. And how the youngster heard about it from his gaffer. Here he is, Fotheringham, great talent. Rob against Agat. Well, Didier Agat has learned his lesson early on, and beautifully timed challenge this time to stop Rob.
Good time in the tackle there from Didier Agat. But Stephen Robb certainly stopped him getting forward. He's caused him more problems going the opposite way.
Varga wins it against Novo. Handball used. Mark Fotheringham.
Well, it's easier, Rob, to look at Fotheringham and say he was second best in the challenge. Stephen Pearson done so well to get there first. The one thing about Fotheringham, we know he's a good footballer. Certainly not the quickest. That's maybe one thing of his part of his game he can work on. Stephen Pearson certainly doesn't lack pace.
Yeah, if you're looking at it from the Pearson point of view, then you say that's terrific ball winning in the midfield, real determination. He drove on from that midfield area, and he picked exactly the right moment to play in Petrov. Here comes Pearson again, powering into the penalty box, and Celtic now with Pearson and Petrov have 2 terrific options running off the sides of Larsson.
You're right, Robin. This man on the ball now, Neil Lennon, he makes it easy for them. He plays the anchor role. He protects the 2 of them, allowing them to go forward. I think when you look at the goal, you've got to not to forget the part played by Henrik Larsson.
Thompson's chip. Silla waiting for the header. Sancho missed it, and he's lucky that Gary Brady's alongside him to make the clearance. Novo losing his footing. Varga's pass was poor. Fotheringham threads it through to Rob. Lovely pass from Fotheringham. That was perfection for Novo. There's Stephen Robb. He had a chance, but David Marshall was very brave.
Great play from Dundee again going forward.
Henrik Larsson onside. Sancho, desperate measures to get that clear. Hernandez to Rob. Barrett. Strong challenge by Balde on Milne. Stephen Milne giving it his best shot, but sometimes against Balde that's not good enough.
No, I think if it's a 50-50 with the big man, you very seldom win the ball.
No stoppage time to be added, so we've got just about 40 seconds left in the first half. Fotheringham on the half volley. A little bit over-ambitious that time.
You can see what he was trying to do, though. Just a few minutes ago, he had a great ball down the right-hand side to Nacho Novo. He will get criticised for losing the ball in the middle of the park, but the one thing about him, Rob, is he's a first-class footballer. Give him the ball and make things happen.
He tries things.
He does, yeah. He lifts his head, makes a pass, sees good movement in front of him. He can deliver that pass as well.
The sound of Willie Young's whistle. Half-time at Dens Park. Dundee 0, Celtic 1, and Cillian Petrov makes it 8 goals for the season. Momo Silla winning the header in defence. Stephen Pearson beating Mark Fotheringham in the challenge in midfield. Then driving at the heart of the Dundee defence, sucking in Dave Mackay and playing in Petrov. It was a cool, composed, drilled finish. And Dundee, who've had their chances to get ahead, find themselves a goal behind to Celtic at half-time. Dundee 0, Celtic 1.
Lee, in that first half, they were doing very well without you for a long time in the big defence, weren't they?
Yeah, defensively, I think Lee Mayer and Brent Sancho have been, outstanding for us at the first half. I think there's, obviously it's disappointing to lose a goal like we did, especially from one of our own corners.
Yeah, it's a classic breakaway, wasn't it, from Celtic?
Definitely. I mean, I thought for a bit of the first half that we were going to get that type of goal with the pace of Nacho and Stephen Milne up front, but it turned out that Pearson and Petrov, they're great runners with the ball, and it's someone we're going to look out for in the second half.
So when are you seeing you back in this team?
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I'm doing a lot of running and things like that just now. I just need to basically strengthen the knee up so it doesn't happen again.
Is it difficult in that dressing room at the moment with all the things that go around about the club, with the full financial situation? There's somebody on a phone will probably make a call for you for a signing bid.
Yeah, it has been quite hard. I mean, there's something new every week, surrounding the club, and the players have just got to sort of, do as best they can and keep away from that side of it. I mean, it's up to the administrators and, whoever else is up, job it is, and the players have just got to concentrate on games like this and getting in the top six.
Your family are Dundee United supporters. Do you fancy going to Tannadice?
No chance of that. I mean, I think I'll get lynched if I went across the road, and I'm a Dundee fan now, so I can't see that happening.
Cheers, Lee. Well done, thanks. Terry, it's becoming more and more likely by the hour that David Marshall will be performing in the new camp next week. Tell us how good a goalkeeper he is. You're the man that knows him best of all.
He's a good goalkeeper, else he wouldn't be playing for Celtic. How good he is, time will tell. He's certainly handled it with a lot of composure tonight, as he did against Barcelona. And for a young goalkeeper, it's a difficult thing to handle, playing at the back there for Celtic.
Yeah, he came into that first game under unusual circumstances, to say the least. There was only one little nervous minute. He had a little showboating in the first half, didn't he, when he flicked the ball over one of their players?
I don't think it's showboating. I said to David afterwards, he felt it was the only option. We've been through it again, and we think there's another option now, and I'd rather him be safer. I hope I don't have to kick his backside again.
Yeah, I'm sure you cleaned that one up. Going into the environment of the new camp, do you think he has the composure? I mean, it's going to be an incredibly pressurised arena.
Well, he was there playing in front of 60,000 at Celtic Park, and that's a bit daunting for a lot of people. David's got a lot of composure for a young lad. He's got a great attitude towards the game, and I'm sure if called upon, he'll handle it.
No fears?
No fears.
Thanks, Terry.
Celtic halfway to a 19-point lead at the top of the Bank of Scotland Premier League. And as Dougie says, back to business as well, having faltered at home to Motherwell at the weekend. And faltering is something they haven't done very much of in this chase towards the title, drawing at Dunfermline on the opening day. 2 points spilled at home at the weekend. And those are about the only blots on the landscape for Celtic as they've marched towards the championship. And tonight Celtic with the chance to put the defending title holders 19 points adrift of them at the top of the table. And really, for some considerable time, it's been about when for Celtic and the championship rather than if. Although if anyone's going to put a spoke in their wheels, it's this Dundee side, and how they love Nacho Novo here. And it's not surprising. I wonder if Dundee are going to be able to hold on to him, because he's got real talent. Jim Duffy would love to think he can keep Novo on board, but were Dundee to get a decent offer for the little Spaniard, probably in their financial position at the moment, it would be very difficult for them to say no. John Kennedy on at the start of the second half for Celtic, the 20-year-old defender. Boosts the Scottish contingent on the pitch, and he's an interval replacement for Stan Varga. Dundee one down at half-time. Can they do anything about it? They've had their chances in the first half. They'll want to create a few more. This time they'll want to put one in the back of the net and get the ball behind David Marshall. As it is the trail to Stilian Petrov's goal. Stan Varga with an injury trick.
Yeah, he's got a trouble with a little knock in his back, at the bottom of his back, Rob. I don't think it's anything too serious. It's precautionary, obviously, ahead of the two games coming up on Sunday and that small matter in Barcelona next Thursday. So just a precautionary move by Celtic, but it's just at the bottom of his back.
Neil Lennon. Almost Silla keeps it in. And then plays the cross beyond Larson. Speroni's throw to Gary Brady. And Dave Mackay against Alan Thompson. Didier Gats plays the ball into the box. Meir clears.
I think, Rob, when you look at that change from Martin O'Neill, John Kennedy is going to play centre back today. He's been playing right back in the team recently, but Kennedy's a good young player as well. Very quick, big lad, good in the air.
When you look at building a Scotland team of the future, you're looking to players like John Kennedy to progress, developing, and he's learning in a good place. So a 19-year-old goalkeeper and a 20-year-old central defender in front of him now. Two young Scots. There's a young Spaniard, Nacho Novo. Brady to Mackay. Brady, formerly with Tottenham and Newcastle, and was signed from Portsmouth.
I wonder, Rob, what Jim Duffy was saying to his team at half-time. They're obviously a goal down. They have to score the next goal if they're going to take something from the game. As they saying, have a go now. The first half they're quite happy sitting in, trying to play in the break.
Again, it's good pace from Stephen Robb and a bit of aggression to go with it. And he definitely troubles a gap when he has the ball at his feet. Fernandez to Barrett. That was intended for Milne, didn't get beyond Baldy. Neil Lennon hoiks it downfield. Silla was backing into Mair. Dundee's free kick, quickly taken. Barrett's pass. Snuffed out in the midfield by Pearson. Thompson to Larson. Sets it up for Pearson. Petrov. A diving header from Barrett.
That was good play again there from Celtic though. Alan Thompson, quite patient, holding on to the ball, allowing Henry Larsson to get a yard of space to link in Stephen Pearson.
Baldy clears under pressure from Milne. Back comes Petrov, putting in a good shift, as ever. He does have that scoring threat, which he displayed to its maximum in the first half. The only goal so far. Brent Sancho. Passes it out of defence to Hernandez. Fotheringham over the top for Milne. Across comes Kennedy. Good challenge. Good start for him.
Great challenge from the big centre back. Read it well. Again, a good ball forward from Dundee. Over the top, trying to use the pace of Robin, Nacho Novo.
Fotheringham. Fancied himself for a crack at goal, but he wasn't really balanced to hit the target.
I'm not too sure what that was there, whether it was a cross, a pass, or a shot from Matt Fotheringham.
Agat's challenge. Mark Fotheringham made only 3 top team appearances when he was with Celtic, and how he would have enjoyed his goal at Celtic Park for Dundee in December in the 3-2 defeat. It was an absolute belter. He doesn't seem to score too many dull goals, as you would have seen from the one he scored against Aberdeen at the weekend. And the back heel there displays a fair bit of confidence about him, but Celtic on the ball. One back by Barrett. Free kick given against Larsson.
Poor touch there from Henrik Larsson. Tried to play a little 1-2 with Stephen Pearson just before he gave away the free kick. You see him just apologising to, I guess, the referee Willie Young there.
Mears free kick, and it's beyond Novo and through to Marshall. I gather Martin O'Neill's been having a word in the ear of Didier Gatchik.
A gentle prompting or two, I would say, Rob, just to encourage him to get forward more down that right, get to the byline. We've not seen much of him in attacking position this match, I think it's this half actually, but for the whole match really. He's been forced back, so he wants him to get forward.
Agat's pass slipped under the boot of Larsson. Mayer to Fotheringham. That's better use of the ball from Dundee. So important that when they have it, they keep it. Because when Celtic have it, it's difficult getting it back. McNamara, Thompson. Mayer in charge against Silla. That's John Kennedy. Stephen Robb's pass into the feet of Nacho Novo, the touch and the turn, but not the pass to release Milne. Neil Lennon linking the play together for Celtic. Still in Petrov. Got off to such a slow start scoring-wise, Petrov, but now on to 8 for the season. And you do expect him to chip in with a fair few. McNamara to Pearson. Shipping for the shot, then decided to square it to Agat. The challenge of Hernandez holds up Agat. Lennon chips it into the box for Thompson. Meyer clears, Agat's header. Novo chasing, but he can give it up. Balde back to Marshall.
No chance of getting that one, that's a Novo. But the second half, I'm sure Martin will be fairly happy with the way his team have started. They've passed the ball really well, kept possession, taking away any threat at all from Dundee going forward. Stephen Pearce has been very influential start of the second half, getting lots of the ball, driving forward, creating space for people round about him.
I just wonder about Pearson sometimes, Sandy. You wonder whether that's offside against Larsson. I wonder whether Stephen Pearson should have more cracks at goal. There was a moment a couple of minutes ago where he was heading towards the box, 25 yards out. It was opening up for him. He seems reluctant to take long-range pots at goal.
I think that Rob, the problem was he was on his right foot, certainly not his stronger foot. But I think Martin O'Neill will be saying to him, pick the right option. I think that's what the players round about him, the experienced guys, will be saying to him, make sure you keep the ball, make sure we're in possession and create better opportunities.
We are nitpicking, of course, because he's made the most fantastic progress since moving from Motherwell to Celtic.
Scored a few goals as well and made that great run to win the ball. First of all, driving forward, and a marvellous pass into Stellan Petrov for the goal.
That was Balde's header. Now Agat. Just trying to think if there's anyone in the studio who had made the move from Motherwell to Celtic and did well, but I can't think of anyone.
He wasn't bad, was he? The boy Boyd.
And he was about 5 minutes at Chelsea, wasn't he, as well? That's Mayer into the box and away from Balde. That's no great question asked of Celtic. It's when Dundee get the ball into feet and play it beyond the Celtic defence and use the pace of Novo and Milne and Robb that Celtic look troubled, but when the ball is just lofted in, it's no great problem.
It's a free kick here against Stellan Petrov. Mark Fotheringham involved. It's a yellow card for him as well. But when you look at the second half, Rob, the tempo's not the same as it was first half. The Celtics are trying to kill the game, play at their pace, take this thing out of Dundee.
Booking for Fotheringham. 10 minutes into the second half. Agat's free kick. Flicked on by Silla. Down from Larsson to Pearson. Good block from Mayer. Dave Mackay gets it down into the Celtic half. It's dropping over the head of Kennedy, who recovered well. He did steamroller Stephen Mill in the process of getting that header back as well.
Yeah, but from a defensive point of view, you like to see that. It's within the rules of the game, very determined to get to the ball first. And you've got to class that as really good defending.
Didier Gat threads it through for Silla, turning away from Hernandez. Looking for a free kick, Silla then seemed to handle the ball on the ground, but Willie Young says after.
As he does.
He's not one to get overexcited, Willie Young, is he?
I like him as a referee there, Rob. I was pleased to see him get the cup final on Sunday in a marvellous game.
Celtic well happy with the scoreline, although they look for another goal and feel a lot safer about the final outcome. Dundee are capable. Good challenge from Barrett, but the ball runs free. Sancho first there. Not quite the fluency there for Dundee at the moment.
They can't keep the ball. They can't get a combination of passes to put Celtic under pressure. I think you give Celtic credit for working so hard to close them down, not allowing them to build up any momentum.
And they did have good spells, Dundee, in the first half when they passed it well, and they really did stretch the Celtic defence.
As we said, Rob, first half, you know, Dundee were certainly sitting in a little bit deep. That allowed them to play in the break.
Well, we'll see that stopped by Lee Mayer. Another excellent challenge. Long ball from Hernandez. Covering in behind Balde is Kennedy. Getting a fair bit of first-team exposure this season, John Kennedy. And looking the better for it. And when you're hot, you're hot. They took a deflection on its way out. Celtic's throw. That came off Hernandez. A tale of two keepers tonight for Celtic, with David Marshall, the 19-year-old, in goals, and Rob Douglas is on the bench for them. They don't have too many options keeper-wise, and still a big question mark over whether Douglas can play in Barcelona. And the effort there from Fotheringham goes wide of goal.
It's a half chance from Dundee. That'll give them a little bit of hope. Nacho Nova doing well again, and Mark Fotheringham support from the midfield. But watch on David Marshall again. He's right over covering his near post. There's no way that's going to be allowed to sneak in. I think Big Rob Douglas here, he'll be delighted with the way the youngsters played tonight. It's having a first-class game.
The Scotland keeper will find out on Monday if his ban stands for Barcelona, although Bobo Balde now implicated as well. The investigation has widened from UEFA as to who was responsible for the rumble in the tunnel last week.
Remember, Chick was in that tunnel as well.
But Bobo Balde clashed with Mota shortly before half-time, and the accusations from the Barcelona side of things are that Balde was very much involved in what happened in the tunnel area, despite the fact that it was Douglas and Mota who were red-carded. So UEFA now will reassess their investigation of what happened before we know exactly who's going to be missing. Saviola certainly will miss that match. Celtic won't be disappointed about that. And you'll see it only on BBC One Scotland next Thursday night from 7 o'clock. Our big build-up begins. Barcelona against Celtic in the fourth round of the UEFA Cup. And ahead of that, Sunday lunchtime, it's Hibs Celtic at Easter Road. Celtic one up here against Dundee and threatening to widen the gap at the top to 19 points. One of Alan Thompson's better passes there. That's Dave Mackay. Kennedy, brave header from Fotheringham. Neil Lennon lofts it up for Didi Hagat. I think Valde's been watching Nacho Novo, and he was caught by Fotheringham as he backheeled the ball. And if Fotheringham injured Bobo Valde, he would have Mark O'Neill to deal with afterwards, and him as well.
He's also got to remember he's got a yellow card, Mark Fotheringham. You've got to be careful. I think Jim Duffy's trying to push Fotheringham further forward. He's taking have to try and put more pressure on the Celtic back players, stop them building from the back. Shall we dance?
That was Home Counties North there for a minute. Hernandez cross is poor.
Dundee have certainly lost their way a little bit. Not the same threat as they were in the first half.
McNamara's pass to Petrov. Celtic very much in control of the game. And Dundee have to lift it if they're to salvage anything from this. Thompson survives the Barrett challenge. Petrov trying to knock that one over the head of Hernandez for Larsson, but Dundee's Spanish defender coped well.
Good defending there from Hernandez. Read the run from Henrik Larsson and a good cool header back to the keeper.
Check what's not happening up front for Dundee.
Well, this is the opinion of the manager, not of me, of course, but
Thank goodness for that.
If you know what knows wrong, I can give you half an hour. But I tell you what, Nacho and Milne too far apart. He wants them closer together. The movement between them is not good enough, and he wants Nacho to peel over a wee bit more to the left-hand side and get involved with Milne when they break forward. Far too far apart when the ball's played forward.
So the problem's with Nacho's pullover then, is that right?
Oh, dear.
Free kick against Silla. And it's not the first, and Willie's going to have a word.
I think he's just saying the little tug in the jersey. We'll see it here. Sancho looks as if he's going to get the ball away. Just a little tug back the way, clear enough. Good spot from the referee.
Good flick from Brady. Good turn from Novo. Running into trouble though. Gets a free kick given against Lennon.
I think one of the problems for Dundee at the moment as well, Rob, is Nacho Novas having to drop into the midfield area.
Good pass from Brady, and Stephen Milne was being held by Balde, and he got himself into a very threatening position, had Milne, and Balde felt he had to do this.
It's certainly a free kick. Bobo Valde's not too sure where Stephen Milne is, and he's holding them back. Chance for Dundee.
Set-piece chance for Dundee. Lee Mayer steps forward. Stephen Robb with the set-piece. And diving header at the near post was from Petrov.
Well defended from Celtic. Not enough height in the ball.
It's going to be Smith for Silla for Celtic in a minute. Not quite yet. Stephen Robb plays it into the back post. Silla's header away. Barrett loses it under no pressure. And that's playing right into Celtic's hands. Neil Barrett hung his head immediately. He knew the damage he'd done. Momo Silla blazes his efforts well off target, and I think it will be his last taste of the action.
That's good play from Celtic though. On the counter-attack again, Henrik Larsson playing the ball straight to Momo Silla. You've got to get it on target, you've got to try and want the goalkeeper.
End of the game for Silla. Enter Jamie Smith, Celtic's Second change, having introduced John Kennedy at half-time for Stan Varga.
Jamie Smith will be a straight swap and play up beside Henrik Larsson. He's another young player at Celtic who's very, very versatile. Happy in the wide areas as well as through the middle, either side of the field.
Hasn't featured as much this season as he did last.
No, but he's got a lot of talent. He'll be trying to make an impact tonight, stay involved in the coming weeks.
Well, I thought that was going to go the other way. I thought Nova was being held by a gap, but Willie Young saw it otherwise.
As I was saying earlier on, naturally Nova's having to come deep to collect the ball and then try and run into Celtic defenders. And when that happens, he's not nearly the same threat. There's lots of bodies to get through. Whereas if he gets the supply up front to go in behind the Celtic back four, that's when he's more dangerous.
Substitute Smith. Stilian Petrov. Alan Thompson. Great challenge again, Lee Mayer. Does that so well.
He's been solid tonight at the back, very consistent, timing his tackles to perfection.
Pearson wins it back for Celtic. Bobby Lynn's going to come on for Dundee. Clumsy tackle, more than anything else, from Ronnie Hernandez. Certain free kick.
No complaints from the Dundee fullback. Makes contact with Jamie Smith before the ball gets there. Easy one for the referee to give.
A late decision from John Kennedy to get forward for the free kick. Petrov plays it in. Kennedy's there, and Larsson at the second attempt. Henrik Larsson scores his 30th goal of the season, and it looks like the one which kills off Dundee. 2-0.
It's a great reaction from Henrik Larsson, but look at the space he gets. Kennedy wins the header. Look at Henrik Larsson. The Dundee defenders go to sleep. Larsson certainly doesn't. Unlucky the first time, it comes back off the post. Now what a reaction from the Swede again. Good header from Kennedy. But Jim Duffy's got to be saying, why wasn't Larsson picked up?
It was actually Julian Speroni, Sandy, who got in the way of the first effort there from Larsson. It was a great one-handed save from the Dundee goalkeeper, but he was powerless to do anything about the follow-up attempt from Larsson, who guided it the other side of the prone keeper. And Celtic are 2-0 ahead. Petrov in the first half, Larsson in the second, and you just have to sit back for a moment and think that is another 30 goals in a season from Henrik Larsson for Celtic. It's phenomenal.
It's not a surprise, is it, Rob? Really, he's such a good player. But it's not only his goal scoring, Larsson. I've watched him closely tonight, and he's playing up front mainly on his own. He's the one that's got to make things happen, and he does it so well. He doesn't panic.
Petrov's pass, a gap on the overlap, and Dundee, having lost a second, don't want to make it 3. Petrov's free kick, it was Kennedy's header down, and it was that man Larsson again. Jamie Smith against Johnny Hernandez. Stephen Robb did enough. Now Mark Fotheringham. Great ball winning from Petrov. He really is a fine example, Petrov, of what Martin O'Neill's teams are all about. He can play, he can score, but he can graft as well.
The whole Celtic team work hard. As I was saying about Henrik Larsson, Rob, just before that there, whenever the ball's played up to him, he buys himself time, he keeps the ball, he holds on to it, allows guys like Petrov that you mentioned there and Stephen Pearson to get in great positions and links him in so well. It's not all about his goal scoring, he's got much, much more to his game than that.
And here he is, Larsson again, working it back to halfway, winning the ball for Celtic, helping out in all areas of the pitch. He's a great example to youngsters in Scotland, and he'll be sadly missed when he goes. That's Fotheringham. Stephen Milne was coming back from an offside position. Well, what can you say about Henrik Larsson that hasn't been said already? This is his 30th goal of the season, set up by Kennedy, and Larsson with the presence of mind when he was foiled the first time to score clinically with the second attempt, and that's now 231 Celtic goals in less than 7 seasons. It's a remarkable goal-scoring feat. 9 in his last 11, 30 for the season. The stats are mind-boggling.
I think it's going to be a yellow card for Neil Barrett as well. Late challenge again in Jamie Smith. But I think when you look back at that goal as well, Rob, Julian Speroni wouldn't be happy at all. See the challenge here, it's a late one again in Jamie Smith. There's no way he can get the ball. That's frustration from Neil Barrett as much as anything else. But Julian Speroni just getting back to the goal. He makes such a wonderful save. He expects more help from his defenders. And it just didn't happen. I thought it hit the post at first. He came off him so well, so hard. It was a great save.
It was an instinctive save, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but Larson given that second chance.
So a double switch for Dundee. Milne and Robb are off. Bobby Lynn, the 18-year-old, is on. And so is the young German striker, Sebastian Kneissl, who's 21, an ex-German youth international. What can they do to lift this Dundee performance? You would imagine they're going to have to lift it to pretty incredible heights to foil Celtic here, who are a team on a mission. Bobby Lynn, the substitute, his first touch. Mark Fotheringham. Gary Brady. No joy for Dundee, and Celtic getting forward again, prompted by Kennedy. Larsson, the step over. Barrett was booked for that wild lunge a couple of moments ago, and maybe just a sign of the frustration that's been seeping through the Dundee team in the second half, because things not going their way. But while we talk about what Dundee haven't been able to do in attack, you have to give credit to Celtic, who have reassembled themselves in the second half, and there is no threat at the moment from Nacho Novo and company.
No, you're right. I think the first goal in the first half for Celtic certainly took the pressure off. Put those onto Dundee to open up, try and get more players forward, and Celtic have certainly taken advantage of that. They've kept the ball, passed the ball really well.
Dave Mackay, Nacho Novo. Look at the pace of Pearson to get back to make the challenge. But it's a free kick given against Pearson. Mark Fotheringham's just back on the pitch. What happened, Jim?
Well, it was a missing link, actually. His chain broke and the manager had to help him. It was caught up in his... Sorry, I can't stop laughing at this. It was caught up in his strip, his gold chain, and he had to come off and get Jim Duffy to unhook it for him. I've heard everything now, Rob.
You have the same sort of problem with your gold bracelets, don't you?
1975 I did.
Ron Atkinson, eat your heart out. Fotheringham's free kick. Brent Sancho waiting. Balde won it. And that was a stinging shot from Novo, which was blocked. And Pearson gets himself in the way of the attempt from Fotheringham.
That was a good block from John Kennedy from Nacho Novo's shot there. I'm sure it was on target, but Kennedy again throwing his body in the road.
Foul, Thompson and Brady. Just about 15 minutes left, and Dundee have to throw everything bar the kitchen sink at this. Novo peels out wide to pick up possession. Miscue from Balde, hands Dundee a corner.
That's a mistake from Bobo Balde, under no pressure. Completely slices it out for the corner.
Dundee having made 2 changes, will make a third one shortly. Meanwhile, Brady to Fotheringham. Kennedy clears. Celtic trying to push out. And that's poor again from Dundee, and that really doesn't ask anything of Celtic. Jim Duffy's going to introduce Dougie Cameron. But this game looks to be out of Dundee's sight now.
Yeah, Celtic are totally controlling the match. All 3 points look as if they go back to Glasgow.
Michael Owen has scored for Liverpool. 3-0 now against Portsmouth in the English Premiership.
I'm just looking at Nacho Novo again there, Rob. They track Jackie McNamara all the way back, almost to his own goal line, to work back the way. Celtic have done that well. They've forced Nacho Novo way out of the danger area. Hasn't caused any real problems second half.
Celtic's free kick. Alan Thompson with it, headed away by Barrett. And Celtic have a problem with Bobo Baldé. He was over at the touchline just now. There's blood on his shirt. We'll get the details in a second. Petrov through for Jamie Smith. Good challenge, Brent Sancho. That's good defending. Celtic threatened to make it 3.
It's a good play again from Celtic going forward. Petrov and Pearson linking again in that midfield area. Those two look a good combination. They read each other well.
Not a bad run from John Kennedy. And I think that could be a BAFTA nomination for Brent Sancho for that.
It was certainly a free kick, but Sancho made the best of it.
Chick, what's the story with Baldé?
Well, as you can probably see there, he's got a bloodied mouth. It's all over his strip. I'm sure at one stage Willie Young's going to have to stop playing, getting the change of strip. That's the FIFA regulation. See the blood in his jersey there. Celtic are going to bring on Craig Beattie, actually. It remains to be seen. It wasn't going to be for Baldé. They may change it to Baldé. The Cameron's coming on, as you said, for Dundee. A lot of activity down here. Beattie is coming on. And Baldé will give you an medical update in a moment. But the news before there is that a broken goal chain doesn't keep you out for long.
It's going to be Larsson to come off when Craig Beattie comes on. Gats passed down the line. Hernandez under pressure from Smith. Dundee make their change. Neil Barrett heads off. And it's going to be 21-year-old Dougie Cameron. And some of our older viewers and Sandy will remember the great Kenny Cameron.
Yeah, remember him well.
And Henrik Larsson off for Celtic. 30 goals for the season, and the important strike tonight, which has seen Celtic home. Craig Beattie is the replacement.
Matt O'Neill obviously feels that Larsson's done his job for tonight. That second goal, he'll see that as a clincher. And I'm sure he'll be thinking about the next 2 games coming up for Celtic as well. Can the Celtic manager rest Larsson on Sunday, being really the only established striker who's fit and available at this moment in time?
Lennon to McNamara. Craig Beattie's first touch. McNamara's cross. Pearson does well to make that his. Agat threads it through. Lear knocks it clear. Neil Lennon doesn't waste too many passes. Agat, Smith, Pearson. Celtic playing keep ball. They're in such a strong position. Dundee have to go chasing. David Marshall hasn't had too many touches in the second half.
No, but Robbie certainly did his bit in the first half. young Celtic goalkeeper. A lot of pressure on him, remember. Not easy to handle as a last line of defence. But the first half he had some tremendous saves to make sure Dundee weren't on the score sheet. There's a little bit late there, Bobo Bartlett. Knitzel.
Mayor's up for this, Sancho as well. I wouldn't rule out Mark Fotheringham having a crack at goal. Fotheringham in. There's Mayor. There's Sancho. Celtic make a meal of getting it clear.
Sancho had to hit that one first time. Tried to take a touch. You don't get that type of time inside the 6-yard box.
Brady's cross for Knysel. Balde's header. And Kennedy. From Mackay to Speroni. Nearly 82 minutes played at Dens Park. Dundee 0, Celtic 2. Stilian Petrov and Henrik Larsson with the goals. But Brent Sancho had a little chance here to get one back.
The ball falls to him just inside the Celtic box. You're almost in the 6-yard box. And just watch, when it's laid back, he's got to hit it first time. There's no way you're going to get enough time to take a touch, look up and hit the target. You've got to have a go, might take a deflection, get it on target, you've got a chance of scoring.
Again, though, you give great credit to the Celtic defending. They were very quickly on top of Sancho and Mayer when they had little chances there. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Cutting down the percentage chance of you hitting the target.
Well, they work hard, Rob, and the longer you take to hit the shot, the more chance you've got to get closed down.
Here's Beattie. Stumbled on the ball, Craig Beattie. That wasn't part of the plan. Well, at the other end of the pitch for young David Marshall, it's been a pretty quiet second half, but he earned his spurs, no doubt, in the first half with some very commanding looking goalkeeping. It's all about saves and captures, but it's just that maturity which goes beyond his 19 years, and he's I think impressed with the sort of assurance he showed in the first period. No joy for Beattie.
I'm watching young Craig Beattie, Rob. He's had a few chances in the first team recently, and he's on tonight. He's certainly, for me, he's trying too hard. He's trying to do everything too quick. He'll learn through experience to just settle things down a little bit. Take your time, make sure you keep the ball like Stephen Pearson does now for Celtic.
Yeah, he should have learned a bit from the person he replaced, I think. Didier Agathe. He was almost in third gear there. But he tugged the cross beyond the strikers, behind them. It's John Kennedy, taking no chances against Sebastian Knysel. That's Brady, and that's out. And it's all fizzling out for Dundee, who had some quality moments in the first half. They created chances. Petrov scored, and then this man, Henrik Larsson, sealed it for Celtic, having come on as a sub at the weekend and equalised against Motherwell. What sort of value do you put on his contribution, not just this season, but over the years for Celtic? Quite remarkable. Kennedy conceding the corner.
Big John Kennedy take no chances there. Wasn't too sure where Nacho Novo was.
Sancho and Mayer from central defence up to join the attack. Fotheringham's cross. And no challenge at all on teenager Marshall.
Easy one that time for the young goalkeeper. That again looked so assured as he came for that cross.
Jamie Smith, Neil Lennon. Celtic going through the motions at this stage because this match is well won.
I think Martin will be more than happy with his team's performance tonight. It was all about getting the 3 points, certainly one eye on next week's game. And I'm sure Celtic will see this one through now. One or two problems that Dundee created in the first half, attacking Celtic mainly from Nacho Novo.
Dougie Cameron. And another Dundee youngster, Bobby Lynn. Well, good luck to you, because you're not going to get past Bobo Balde.
Now, Bobo Balde was always in control of that one.
It was Petrov who got the ball rolling for Celtic here. It all started with a Dundee corner, but it finished with Celtic's opening goal and Petrov's 8th of the season. There was never any doubt that he was going to beat Speroni, and this was number 2 at the second attempt for Henrik Larsson, but it all adds up to 30 goals this season, adding to his amazing goal return. On a £650,000 from Feyenoord investment nearly 7 years ago. I think you'd call that a tasty bit of business. Man of the match, Sandy?
Well, there's been a few contenders, Rob. Nacho Novo first half played very well, and Celtic over the piece have had some very good performances. Petrov and Pearson in the middle of the park. Henrik Larsson is always doing really well. But the young goalkeeper, David Marshall, first half tonight, he was exceptional. 1 or 2 great saves. But the reason I'm going to give it to him, Rob, is he's got a real presence in that goal. It's not easy being a goalkeeper, but he's handled it really well, as he does just now. And he's my Bank of Scotland man of the match.
That might be good news for Chick. That maybe means Chick can keep the champagne. He is only 19, he surely can't be drinking at that age. The Celtic supporters in party mood, as well they might be, with their team about to go 19 points ahead. It's countdown to another championship. Reclaimed back from Rangers, the treble winners of last season. It's going to be a 26th league win of the season for Celtic. 26 wins and 2 draws, not bad. And they are way ahead in Scotland this season, and that is indisputable. Good run from Nacho Novo. Deflected wide.
Great play again from the little Spaniard. Again, twisting, turning, getting himself some space right on the edge of the Celtic box. Kennedy, Bobo Balde, both diving in. The young David Marshall again, it's a first-class save. Got his hand to it, got it well round the post.
I knew he was man of the match. Cameron's corner, headed away by Beattie. Bobby Lynn tried to force it back in. Two minutes to be added. We've played 90. Celtic might not be finished. Pearson to Beattie. Craig Beattie's shot! Well on target. Good save. Because Julian Speroni didn't see an awful lot of it.
You're right, Rob. A good play from Craig Beattie. Doesn't want to go on his left foot, on his stronger one his right. Knocks it beyond Lee Mayer, who was in the sight of Speroni, but Speroni doing well to make the save.
Sancho to Brady. Good step over from Novo. Releases Mackay. I think Dave Mackay's in nosebleed territory in the final third. Another good job done by Martin O'Neill's team. Another win, another 3 points, nearer another title. Dougie Cameron's pass intercepted by Petrov. Breaks free though for Bobby Lynn. Kneissl with the chance. Sebastian Kneissl gets his first Dundee goal and makes the scoreline look a whole lot better for the home team. A minute inside stoppage time, right at the death.
It's a tremendous finish from Kneissl. Giving the ball, giving a bit away there. That Lynn's onto the last flash. That's a good ball in. John Kennedy diving in a little bit, but Kneissl pulls it back onto his right foot. Obviously doesn't want to hit it left foot, but what about this for a finish? Young David Marshall in goal, no chance of saving it. It's right in the top corner. Good pace in the ball. Could be an interesting finish.
Jamie Smith gets beyond Lee Mayer and fails to pull it back, and it's almost all over at Dens Park. Martin O'Neill looking a little bit agitated, but the goal for Dundee has come surely too late to make any difference. But for the third time this season, it looks as if Dundee are going to lose by just a single goal. 1-0 in September, 3-2 in December, and it's 2-1 Celtic in March. 2.5 minutes added already. That's full time. Martin O'Neill's Celtic stretch their lead at the top of the table to 19 points. And in truth, they were well ahead in the second half. Stilian Petrov having scored before the interval. Played in by Pearson. The usual cool, composed finish. David Marshall had played his part for Celtic, no doubt about that, with some very commanding goalkeeping, which augurs well for the future. Henrik Larsson sealed it for Celtic with his 30th goal of the season. And Sebastian Kneissl's blistering effort right at the end was little more than consolation for Dundee. They lost. Celtic won their 26th league game of the season. They're 19 points ahead, and didn't David Marshall do well?